Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and this is Catnip Dreaming. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today is gonna be a fun episode. We're gonna do some cooking and it's actually gonna be a cooking like mystery basket type of thing. I will say that I already know what the ingredients are because I had to go purchase them, but I asked my boss and my dad both kind of came up with similar ingredients, so created a basket utilizing the ingredients that they showcased. And I will say that the protein is not what I would normally choose, but you'll see as I show you guys the ingredients. But the whole idea is to try to push myself to cook things that I wouldn't normally cook because I tend to really like a lot of the same flavors. If you've watched my channel before, you know I love sherry vinegar and smoked paprika, a lot of Spanish flavors. I also really like a lot of, you know, acidity and I don't know. I cook with a lot of the same ingredients and a lot of the same techniques. So the whole idea is to try to push myself and get some other people's perspective on what they would like to see me cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the mystery basket and then we're gonna start cooking. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you the ingredients that were chosen for me because I wouldn't necessarily have chosen these for myself. So I'll start with the protein. I have some boneless pork chops. Not something I normally cook with, but I'm excited to try to cook something a little bit different. I normally brine or cure or marinate these, so I'll do one of those just to give these a little bit more moisture before I cook them at the end. So, and then we have that, and then some sweet potatoes, Napa cabbage, beets, goat cheese, whole grain mustard, and then just some various herbs. So I have like rosemary, thyme, oregano, and parsley. And I don't have to use everything that's in this basket, but I certainly can use all of it. And I can use pantry items, so vinegars, spices, you know, simple things like butter. I did ask because I do have lemon and apple in my fridge. If I can use those, and that was approved. So yeah, I basically have free range of the pantry and just what I would normally have in my fridge, and I think that most people would have in the refrigerator. All right, so what I'm thinking about doing with these ingredients, so for the pork chops, because I'm definitely gonna use these because I don't really have another option for a protein, but I'm definitely gonna do either a brine or a marinade just to, you know, make these a little bit more tender because, you know, if I do a brine, then the salt will help tenderize this a little bit. If I do a marinade, the vinegar will. So one of those two options I'm gonna definitely do for the pork and maybe add some of the herbs. I do have, because I have free range of the pantry, maybe I'll throw some different spices in there as well. For the sweet potatoes, I'm thinking either roasting them, like with some nice knife cuts, or pureeing them. I will say I really don't like doing purees that much. And especially with this dish, I want to make sure that there's enough texture, and I wasn't given any like nuts or anything like that. So I'm thinking roasting will be good because hopefully I can get a little bit of crispiness and texture in this dish. For the Napa cabbage, I'm thinking about simply sauteing it, maybe charring it a little bit, but that just sounds really good to me. I mean, this isn't necessarily the cabbage that I would normally think of with pork chops, but cabbage and pork go really well together. So I think that we can certainly make this work for that. Thinking about pickling the beets just to add another layer to this dish. I'm gonna skip the goat cheese just because I don't think it really goes with everything else in here. I mean, I think goat cheese and beets go really well together, but for me, I'm not seeing a composed dish with that. So I am gonna save this for another time because who doesn't like goat cheese? I will use the different herbs variously throughout the entire dish. And then I'm definitely gonna use the mustard. I'm thinking about doing like a mustard gravy to go with this, or like a pan sauce basically. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. So the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is brine the pork chops. All right, to make the brine, I'm gonna take my pork chops. I have a plastic container, gonna add the pork chops to it, and I'm just gonna do a really simple brine. It's gonna be 1/4 cup of salt to 4 cups of water and a little sprinkle of sugar. I'm gonna take the pork chops and just let them chill a little bit in the fridge. Normally you'd want these to brine for a lot longer than the time I'm gonna do, but we're trying to make do with the mystery basket that we have. All right, so while I have the pork brining, I do have the oven turned on to 400 degrees for my sweet potatoes. So, well, meanwhile I'm doing that, I'm gonna get the pickled beets ready. I am gonna partially cook the beets, or like boil them basically so they're a little bit tender. So I have some water going on to boil, and then I'm gonna make the pickling liquid so it's all set. So I'm just gonna be using very simple pantry ingredients because that was basically the challenge. So I'm gonna do an apple cider vinegar pickle with sugar and a little bit of mustard seed. let the pickles chill in the fridge while we work on our sweet potatoes. So pretty much everything's working. I'm gonna really quickly chop the cabbage up. I think I'm just gonna kind of saute that a little bit and get a little bit of char on it. And then I'm gonna make the quick pan gravy. So it's gonna be just some chicken stock, butter, mustard, and flour. And maybe I'll throw some herbs in there too. Alright guys, so I have a nice mustard pan gravy with the nice seared brined pork chop, some pickled beets, that's not blood, that's just the beet juice, roasted purple potatoes, and some charred cabbage. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. It's definitely a lot of fun to cook all that. I really enjoyed this dish. Tim, I know, enjoyed it as well. So I look forward to doing more potential mystery basket type of things. Sorry, I'm really red. Really hot. Shouldn't have worn long sleeves when I was cooking. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look forward to more videos coming up this week. Thanks.